Hi, I'm Lanny and this is Preserving Today, a Greener Postures project. Today I'm going to show you how I make gelatin gummies with just two ingredients, gelatin and fruit juice. I have molds, a nice saucepan, a Pyrex measuring cup, a measuring spoon, this little dropper. So this is pretty much as easy as it can be. There's only a couple things that are super important, and one is blooming the gelatin. So the first thing I do is measure this juice into a saucepan. I'm just doing 1 cup. And I'm using these peaches that I canned last summer. And I'm just gonna strain the juice out of that and use the juice and eat the peaches. So 1 cup of peach juice and 3 tablespoons of gelatin. All right, so we sprinkle the gelatin finely over the surface of cold juice, cold or room temperature, not hot. And then we have to let that sit before we start to heat it. And that's gonna allow the gelatin to bloom, which is basically allow it to take on liquid. If you don't do this correctly, then it will lead to clumpy gelatin and be really hard for that gelatin to dissolve. So you just sprinkle it on the surface of cold or room temperature liquid and then watch it absorb, which takes about 5 minutes. So just leave it sit there until it doesn't look powdery anymore. And I'll do this again with my grape juice that I saved from this summer from some juiced wine grapes, and these are gonna be really good. Now at this point, you could add mineral drops, probiotics, you could add vitamin C and make these like vitamin gummies. You could add honey if you like a sweeter treat, but this is just gonna be the natural sugars in the juice and it's gonna be plenty sweet for me. Move the saucepan to the heat and put it on medium-low and just wait until that gelatin starts to dissolve into the liquid and keep stirring it. Do not bring it to a simmer or to a boil. If you get it to too high a heat, it's actually gonna break the gelatin and then your gummies won't set up. After it's all dissolved, you're going to fill your molds. Now, this can be as simple as just putting this on a cookie sheet and maybe on some parchment paper and then cutting it into the sizes you want when you're done. Or you can have some cute molds of any kind of shape or size that you want and fill it in the molds. I recommend putting it on some kind of a tray first because it is kind of hard to move when they're liquid. When you fill your mold, you want to move it to the fridge. So fill the mold on a tray, move it to the fridge or the freezer to cool. After they're completely cooled, they should be set up and they should be stronger than Jell-O, just like gummies, candies from the store. You can pop these out of the molds, and I store mine in the fridge, although I think they'd probably be fine room temperature as well. These are tasty, slightly sweet, and I don't have to feel guilty feeding these to my 2-year-old. It's just a little bit of fruit juice and some really healthy gelatin. Gelatin is good for bone strength, connective tissues like joints, your eyes, your skin, your hair. If you want more gelatin in your diet, I really recommend bone broth, but I also recommend these gelatin fruit juice gummies. Enjoy. And if you haven't heard yet, I do have the new Greener Postures podcast. Check it out on Google, Apple, Spotify, or Anchor, or on my website, greenerpostures.com/podcast.